only should they not build the website themselves, but they should never have to update it ever for as long as they're a customer. So then we took that away. That's a part of an offering now too. So if you come out with a new series, you want to update your artist statement, you want to set up a special page to run a sale, whatever you want to do, we now build that for you. We'll just take care of it because it's just not a good use of your guys' time to be learning how to become web programmers or do programming for dummies or any of the stuff that's involved in any of all that, right? It is just not the best use of an artist's time because the three things, the creating, the marketing, and the selling are so important. Um, from there, we've now moved into the next greatest front in this entire journey, which has been really, really fun. And we have now created a program where we're doing social media marketing for our customers. And that's all the posting on Facebook, that's all the posting on Instagram, that's the running of sales. And so we've just launched a program in the last month where we've started doing that for our customers as well. And what we've come to realize is that, this marketing problem is really, really hard. It's a reason the number one adjective that goes in front of artists is starving. It's not going away anytime soon. Even when we do get you guys marketing, it's really, really hard to keep you consistently doing it and to be doing it at the frequency and clip that we want you to do. And so we've developed this program now where we're doing it for our customers. We just launched it in the last, like I said, in the last 2 months. And it's a really, really exciting time because you guys are all new to marketing. You're all new to digital marketing for the most part. You've never usually done it consistently. And all artists are like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to do a newsletter and I'll send a newsletter once a month and that's good enough. And maybe occasionally I'll post on social. And there's these massive traps in all of this where when you're new to marketing and when you don't really understand the digital landscape that we live in, you think that like you work on one tiny little marketing thing and it goes out into the world and everybody reads it, right? We think everybody reads it. I can't possibly send something again because everyone's already seen it. I'll be bothering them. And what you don't realize is that everyone is just as busy as you. They're not reading all of their emails. They're distracted by a cat video, right? They're distracted by television. Their brain is somewhere else. They're doing somewhere else. And so what you realize when you've been doing marketing for any consistent period of time, and I have this analogy that I love about this, and it's what I call the fish at the surface analogy. And what we think as artists and photographers is that we go down to the harbor, we jump on our boat, we drive our boat out to sea, and then we throw our line in the water. Our line is our newsletter, our social media post, our marketing message, our sale. We think all the fish are just right underneath our boat, when nothing could be further from the truth. Sometimes the fish are under the boat. Sometimes they're 3,000 miles away. Sometimes they're down at the bottom of the ocean. And the majority of the time that you throw that line in the water, no one saw any of it, okay? No one saw any of it. And so how do we solve for that? We solve for that by saying there is a reason it's called fishing and not catching. It's hard, right? Sometimes it doesn't work out. You never know where the fish are going to be, and you never know whether or not they're under your boat. And so it becomes this game of how many hours are you on the water and how many hours are you fishing? And this is like one of the biggest disconnects because even once we get you marketing and we teach you how to market, you're marketing more than you ever did. You're still not doing it consistently enough because it's hard, because of the technological hurdles, but also because you don't understand this fish at the surface analogy. I mean, most of you guys see how much we email as a company. It is obnoxious, isn't it? Now, I am never suggesting you take it to the clip that we do, okay? We're in a unique circumstance where we do that. But the point of it is, I routinely get people that come on these sessions and they're like, yeah, I've been getting your emails for like, a year and a half, and today was just the time that I had available, and I got the email and I came, right? And that's how the fish at the surface works. I have this avatar in my head because this guy literally did it 2 weeks ago, and he's expat artist living in Mexico, and he was wearing this like dashiki thing, so he really stuck out. But he's like, that was exactly what he said to me. He's like, you guys email too much. I got a bunch of your emails. I got one today, and I'm on this session. And he ended up signing up. And the analogy, the takeaway there is the only reason that sale happened for us was because our marketing message was in the water when that particular fish came right underneath the boat. And it's the exact same for you. So we know that if we can get all of you guys marketing consistently, by which I mean you don't miss a day. You don't miss a day, right? There's no taking a holiday. There's no, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I had a big night out on the town, whatever the excuse may be. Like when you are consistent and you are consistent for years and years and years, what happens is the business actually starts growing. Everything will change. And so that's the latest iteration of where we've gone as a business, and we're really, really excited about it, because I know at the end of the day, a lot of times my customers are their own worst enemies. They're their own worst enemies because they fall trapped to these cognitive biases that say, I can't post that much, and I can't run that many sales, and I can't have a live art show today, and I can't send that email. And when we take some of that stuff off of your plate, it not only does the work get done, but it's also fish at the surface, but you also learn more and you get better and you get to the conclusions quicker. Like, one of the things that I'm really, really proud of as a business at Art Storefronts is we allow reviews to be written about us everywhere, right? We allow reviews to be written about us everywhere. You can leave a review on Facebook, you can leave a review on Trustpilot, you can leave a review on Google, and the majority of our competitors don't do that. And when you look at our reviews, the vast majority are extremely overwhelmingly positive. But the ones that aren't positive, they're angry in some cases I'm sure justifiably. But the majority of the negative reviews all come down to the fact that the art is not selling at the end of the day, right? The art is not selling and the art is not selling enough. And I know that, like, in almost all of those scenarios, it's not because the artist was bad, okay? It's because they never found out, because they never did consistent marketing about whether their art would sell or not. And guess what happens when you actually find out? You get your art, your photography in front of enough eyeballs to know whether or not it'll sell. It starts selling and you have a business, or you try something different and figure out whether or not that's going to sell. And that whole process of getting the information, getting the feedback about what you have as a product, what you're creating will sell or not, is where 95% of artists never get there. They never figure it out. They're like, I love creating. I have this amazing stuff. I know I need to get it in front of enough eyeballs. They never do. They never find out if they have a product that's actually going to sell. And the career remains a hobby. And it remains a hobby. And that is one of the other biggest things that we've been like really, really working on attacking. And it's a journey. It is a journey, like, we've been at this for almost a decade. We're going to be at this for decades and decades to come. And, solving this starving artist problem is not something that gets done overnight, right? It's not something that happens instantaneously. One of the other things that I've really, really enjoyed is, like, there is so much bad and nonsense information out there about how you go about making it as an artist or a photographer, right? Like, this industry is so insanely opaque. None of the galleries ever publish what things are selling for, how much they're selling, or what percentages they take, right? Like, there's everyone gloms on to, like, the top 0.001% of artists, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to follow what they're doing. It's like, yeah, I'm a basketball player, and I'm going to follow Kobe Bryant or, Shaq or LeBron. I'm not really into basketball, but no, I know those names. But, it's a very, very small percentage that everyone follows, and they are like the true professional athletes of the sport. Now, no one's saying you can't achieve that level. Of course you can. Have your ambition, have your goals. But in the meantime, it's very helpful if you follow the basic rules and tenets of business, okay? So we help our customers with a whole different range of things. And I'll cover some of these at a high level, and then we can get into the Q&A. Almost no artists and photographers understand pricing. Almost no artists and photographers know how to think through their pricing. In fact, most all artists and photographers are paralyzed at the thought of pricing. How do I price my work? How do I get what I'm worth? Time plus material. Could I ever raise these prices? I don't know. I'm terrified to even ask to sell it in the first place, right? So we teach you things, and our software enables you to understand the basic fundamentals of how you price art. You have to have art from $0 to $100. You have to have art from $100 to $1,000, and you have to have art at $1,000 plus. When you have the range of pricing, you now are able to cater to all budgets. It almost eliminates and kills these crazy lowball offers you guys have. You have things for people at the top end of the range. You have people at the lower end of the range. You also need to have non-wall art as a part of your lineup as well. And there is a reason for this. Not everybody is ready to buy wall art all the time. So if I get sucked into your ecosystem, however that might be, email, social, somebody tells me about you, I come to your page, I come to your website, I come to your Instagram account, whatever it is, and all you have are originals starting at $800 or $600 or $500 prints, and I'm not really ready to buy wall art, I'm gone. I've left. And I'm not coming back because I'm distracted by cat videos and I forgot you ever existed. That's what the math say about how this works in the real world, right? So this is a perfect tenet of, like, what has never been taught in any art classes or photography classes on how to actually monetize it. When you have items, okay, under $100, non-wall art related with your images on them, you are going to acquire a significantly larger amount of customers than you ever would before. What is amazing about this business, what's unique about this business, is the collector phenomenon, okay? Collectors are the bread and butter of any successful art and or photography career. The problem with collectors is you never know who is going to turn into a collector and who's not. What you do know, though, is the step to becoming a collector starts with a purchase and acquiring a new customer, okay? I define collectors, I stole it from this guy's book. Love this book. I think everyone should buy it, by the way. It's Don't Be a Starving Artist. It's by Weiland. He's the whale guy. Most would say one of the best-selling artists in the United States, if not the, given his business model in the stores. But anyway, Weiland defines a collector as someone that purchases an upwards of 7 pieces of art from him over the course of a lifetime. And what I've come to see going back the 10 years of doing this and being able to look at all my customers' accounts is collectors are the lifeblood of any business. It is the base salary of any fundamental art or photography business, because year after year after year, these people just keep coming back and buying again and again and again because of this phenomenon that is collectors. And when you go to the very beginning of the equation, the path to a collector is a new customer that you've acquired. It is much easier to acquire a new customer when you have a range of pricing and when you have non-wall art. Where was that class ever taught, right? And so our platform makes it extremely easy to integrate with a merch partner that we have occasionally from artists. I get some pushback. I am a fine artist. I'm not putting my stuff on merchandise or tchotchke or any of the rest of that cheap crap. Are you kidding me? And then I always reply, go ahead and let me know the last museum you went to that didn't have a gift shop. I'll wait. Okay? If Van Gogh's art is on the wall and you can go in and buy a print of Starry Night, okay, it's not tarnishing his reputation. It's not going to tarnish yours. What does the museum know? The museum knows the basic fundamentals of business. The easiest customer to acquire is the one that you already have, okay? So when you have items that are non-wall art related in your lineup instantaneously that don't cost you anything, that you don't have to inventory, that there's no order minimum, you are in a significantly better place to acquire more customers than you ever have before. You acquire as many customers as possible all throughout the price range. You market to them consistently all year long, and you never stop. And that's the ball game. And that's what Art Storefronts helps our customers do. That is what we are focused on, laser focused on, I would say. And it's been a really interesting and fun journey. So we're going to continue teaching our customers how to market. We're going to continue teaching how to get better at marketing. Our software keeps improving. And yeah, that's what we're doing. Very interesting. And everyone's like, what does normal growth look like? Kim, I can't pull the comments out, Kim, otherwise I would show your thing. Something's broken. But Kim, one of my customers, is like, I went from 10K a year to 40K a year since I joined, which is awesome. But she also works really hard too. So good on you, Kim. But anyway, we can go to questions. How do they work? If you're one of the brave ones that has your camera on, totally appreciate you. You can do the old school hand raise, and then I can unmute you and bring you on for a question. For everybody else, though, at the bottom of your little Zoom window here, there is a smiley face looking thing that says reactions. You can see my mouse is on it now. It's a little hard to see. If you click that, it gives you the way you can raise your hand digitally speaking. You can see I did it right now. And that lets me know, hey, you've got a question and you want to come on. And if you don't want to turn your camera on, you don't have to turn your camera on, okay? I hate being on camera. I've got a face for radio, but it's my job. So don't feel like you need to turn your camera on if you don't want to. It doesn't matter to me. You can certainly ask by audio. Dennis is our first brave one today. Thanks, Dennis. I appreciate it. Go ahead. And you'll need to unmute, Dennis. I'll let you know when you get it. Mic icon. Oh, he says don't have camera or mic, but I do have a question. Yeah, just type your question in the chat. Without a mic, it's not going to let you. It's not going to let you ask. So you can just throw it in the chat just like you did, and I'll be more than happy to answer that. Other than that, who wants to be brave and go first? All it takes is one brave one. Yeah, so Dennis is asking, like, what's an example? So we've got puzzles and greeting cards and coasters and yoga mats and iPhone cases and tote bags and throw pillows and calendars and photo books, all kinds. It almost doesn't even matter what it is. And I have some customers that like to get creative and like they buy wooden kitchen spoons and hand paint them, for instance. It doesn't even matter what it is. Like everyone loves to like die on the hill of like what particular non-wall art related thing that they love or don't love. And It's like, it doesn't matter. It's just math. It's a mathematical formula. Under $100 non-wallet related, game changer. Game changer. You will acquire significantly more customers when you do that. So that's what I would say. Very helpful to have. Very helpful to have in all scenarios. But I talk about that like in depth on a regular basis in the podcast. Best ways to do that, how to think it through, and I'll send you guys some follow up reading on it too, which is pretty awesome. So that's what I would say. But who else, guys? Questions? Any brave ones here? Your iPhone. What you're saying? My iPhone, Karen? I don't know what she was saying. Go to your iPhone, look for iPods, and search for it. Oh, you sell iPods. Got it. Yeah, cool. Totally qualifies, right? The iPod case things are a little bit more expensive, but I'm on board. Not able to use audio. I'm in advertising and design, but I want to sell my art. Having issues trying to connect my work with Squarespace in print on demand. How is our storefronts different? Yeah, it's Robert. That's not even the same sport. It's like it's not even a fair comparison in the slightest. We're totally built from the ground up to do this. So you upload your images and it's done. Everything's connected. Boom, instantaneously. Zero problems. You don't have to touch anything. Order comes in. You get paid. Printer gets paid. Order gets shipped. Your logo gets slapped on the side of the box. You don't have to touch a single solitary thing. All of it's done instantaneously. And that's both on the print side and on the merchandise side as well. So, yeah. And yes, you can, Karen. You can order everything from internally. And what's up, Joseph from Uganda? I feel like there's been like a lot of like African artists coming through, and you can always tell their screens are completely dark. You see how Joseph's, because it's in the middle of the night over there, right? It always ends up being dark, like or really early in the morning or whatever it is. We don't, and just to answer your question, Joseph, we don't necessarily have like a good solution for Africa just yet. Our software does make it possible that you can sell into North American markets and Europe for that matter. But in terms of like fulfilling the work in Africa, it becomes like a little bit untenable. So that's what I would say. You can learn from the marketing stuff, but I don't think we have the best product for Africa as a continent just yet. Go ahead, Columbus, if you're there. You'll need to unmute. Mic icon, bottom left-hand corner. If you just hit that, that should do it. And yeah, thanks, Robert. You're welcome. I envy your pain. We even do, Robert, we do a cool thing where if you paid for a Squarespace or one of the other website subscriptions, we'll buy you out of the subscription. It's like a new thing we started doing this week, which I think is kind of fun. So if you paid for like a year up front or whatever, like just tell them if you want to sign up. And they'll be like, okay, we'll buy you out of it. You guys are totally shy today. Shy bunch. Yeah, Columbus, you have to sign up for a plan first. So you do that first, and then you can upload from there. Yeah, Andre, you can sell commission pieces all day long. Totally recommend 100% of my customers do commission pieces. I could rant about commission pieces for days and days and days. We're not dictators here, right? But when we set the website up for you, we make various different recommendations about how you're supposed to set your site up and what you're due. And I tell my customers, 100% of them, I want you all to have a commission section on your website, whether you ever decide to do commissions or not, because commissions are a glorious thing. Commissions are idea generation machines, right? Commissions are a scenario where, hey, I really like what you do, but I don't want to buy that stuff. I like your creativity. Will you create this, right? And it's like somebody holding money up above their head saying, create this for me. And that's how you get fantastic ideas about potential new niches, potential new directions, potential new business models. So yes, 100%, all of you can. Very, very important. Very, very important, the commissions. All right. You guys are so shy today. I feel like I've just been barely getting questions all in the chat. Yeah, so Dan's asking a really interesting question. This is the crystal ball question, right? How much would you say the median artist makes using art storefronts? You can't run the mass like that. And the reason is that it's so multivariate, the data set. I mean, the data set is like so multivariate, it's ridiculous. And I'd have to get my wife in here. My wife has a PhD in statistics, believe it or not. And we've got every age group, every niche, every level of technical sophistication. Some of them are breaking the rules. Some of them are not breaking the rules. Some of them came in with huge established businesses. Some of them are just getting started and they've never sold their art to anyone, not named mom, dad, brother, sister, family, friends. Some put in a ton of work. Some put in almost no work. And so almost no one. Oh, Karen, you're an existing customer, huh? Yeah, I get it now. By the way, this is a session for people that haven't signed up yet, so it's probably not the best. It's probably not the. I know. You see, Karen's like, I'm gonna unmute you anyway, Karen, just for a second, because it'll be funny, and then I'll finish answering your question, Morgan. Karen, tell everybody. I'm curious how long, and you'll need to unmute. Mic icon, bottom left hand corner. You just click the little microphone icon one time.
I've only been like for 2 weeks, and I'm trying really hard to get the whole everything down. It's so much information.
Oh my gosh.
And I go on all the tutorials and looking and reading over and over again, but I'm still like, I don't want to touch anything again, because I'm charging on the front side prints to myself, because I didn't know there was even a back side.
Oh, don't do that. So you got to get off this and contact customer service immediately, and they will refund you that. They'll refund you.
I already did it. It's all okay. But I
good.
wanted to listen to what you had to say too, because I keep generating this information, hoping it'll sink in.
Yes. Do you want the brutal honest truth?
Yes.
You're gonna be pulling your hair out of your head for a while. That's just how it goes. Early on, like, you know, sometimes like the guys on the phone get like angry with me because I just do not sugarcoat it in the slightest, because I don't want to. Like, you have a whole bunch of new stuff to learn, my dear. We're gonna have to teach you. It's gonna be painful at first, but I've seen time after time after time, once you get through those normal quitting points where everybody quits, you're gonna wake up one morning, you're gonna be like, that wasn't that hard. I figured out how to do it, right? Yeah, and as long as we keep helping you, but you shouldn't be messing around with the site manager or anything else. Just have them do all of it for you.
I will. I have a call on Saturday, a 30-minute call, so I'm writing all my questions so that I get it.
Yes, and then you can just send them follow-ups after the fact. Have them do all of that up front. You know. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. It's like a perfect example of the stuff I don't want you working on. I don't want you working on that. I want you learning how to do the marketing piece and, you know, showing off your art and doing those various different things. So that's what matters.
Yeah, well, I already did a giveaway to the first 8 people that signed on to my website. So I'm waiting to do that. I'm waiting to get the responses. They're coming in.
Yeah.
They're coming in.
Yeah. That's how it starts. Well, welcome aboard, Karen. I appreciate you.
Thanks. Okay. Thanks.
All right. So I was finishing up with Morgan. Yeah. So Morgan, it's a crystal ball question, right? And oh no. Morgan asked a different one. I'm sorry, Dan. It's a crystal ball question, Dan. And the reason is that, like, underpinning your question, okay, is the premise that there's somehow a magical repeatable formula that works for people. There's no magical repeatable formula. Biggest bunch of BS in the history of mankind, right? Like, not all artists are the same, not their subject matter material. There is no magical solution. I mean, I have to skate on the thin ice here because I do this, okay? I studied photography in college. I mean, the whole thing, like 7 or 8 classes. I was doing prints in the dark room, studied all the classics, understand framing, understand aperture, understand the rule of thirds. There are people on our platform that take snapshots that are making like $60,000 or $70,000 a year in sales. I cannot figure out for the life of me how it's possible, but it happens. And it comes down to, like, you can't pick racehorses in this business. Everyone has like a different this, that, and the other, and different emotional connection, you know, to their subject material. And anyone that tells you like there's some sort of magical formula or magical Facebook ads theory or anything else is lying to you, and run away. What I can tell you is we believe we give you the best suite of tools and education and features to give you the highest chance of success possible. Ultimately, what you do, it comes up to you. I mean, I woke up this morning and I saw a comment on Instagram on one of our ads by this guy going, "These guys are total frauds." I called him up and said I would give 50% of all of my art sales, okay, 50% of my art sales all up front. They just needed to take me on for free, and we'll reevaluate in a year. And, you know, I didn't respond to him, but it's like, okay, dude, if I was your trainer and I was a really, really good trainer, and you said you wanted to lose 20 pounds, okay, and you came to me and said, I will pay you $100 per pound that I lose or whatever. And I'd be like, okay, I'm going to take that deal. And I work you out in these great sessions and you're sweating in all the right stretches and everything else and the weights. And then you go out and you eat terrible food for a week and a half and drink a bunch of alcohol and then come back and like, I'm not losing any weight, right? Like, no, that is not the way that it works. There's no one that markets your art for you. That is not how it works in the real world. You have to like do the work, you know? Anyway, that guy infuriated me for about 10 seconds and then I got over it. Because I've been doing social media for entirely too long, and I know about the trolley comments. So Morgan, we don't have like a point of purchase machine yet. He's asking about, is there like a point of sale connection for those that still sell at markets? I love that you sell at markets, by the way. I'm going to send you, I have the most hardcore tactical article on how to sell in in-person fairs and shows. I'm actually really proud of it. It took me a long time. It took me an hour. I ended up doing a podcast episode on it too. So it's called The Ultimate Guide, and I'm trying to pull it up. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Fairs and Shows. It took me an hour. I like did a podcast episode, so I read through it all. Excuse me. And it took me an hour just to read it. That's how in-depth it is. I'm pulling it up now so I can show it off because I'm quite pleased with it. But I want you to read this thing, Morgan, because it'll I guarantee you level you up. Ultimate Guide, where is it? No. Yep, here it is. I'm quite pleased with this thing, so I'm going to show it off. So it's called The Ultimate Guide to Successful Art Shows and Fairs. And I walk you through like the entire tactical setup from start to finish on how to think about shows, how to approach shows, what steps to take, what you need to do, what you can ignore. I got a bunch of photos from my customers and booths doing their various different things, how to contemplate what to share on social media before, during, and after, real testimonials from real customers. I'm going to just put this thing in the chat so in case I don't forget. It's an insanely good guide. So that'll help you out in shows and fairs. But anyway, Morgan, what most of our customers do is they put all the orders themselves into their system. And how do they take credit card at the shows? Square. I think most of them use Square, and they just do it that way, and then they just put the orders in themselves. So that's what I'd say. Yeah, Kim, one of our customers, Kim, I used her son in one of the photos because it's like, this is like shows and fairs, okay? I'm so pros shows and fairs, I can't even begin to tell you. And I was like, this is what you feel like when you go through shows and fairs, right? Like, exhausting. You're on your feet for 8 hours a day, you know? You had to set up the entire booth and everything else, but the fact that they're that difficult is what makes them so effective. So I think they're a very, very important part of like a balanced diet of growing a business, right? That's what I think. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you have ADHD or not, Morgan, wait till you read that article to blow your mind. There's so much good tactical stuff in there. And yeah, in terms of streamlining as much as possible, I'm on board with that. I am, but don't worry about it. Don't make it a huge thing until you're selling so much that you can't even do the processing, right? It's also a very, very important very important part of, again, the pricing, and again, having non-wall art is a part of your lineup, right? Like when the goal is to acquire as many new customers as you can, and you end up doing a show or a fair, and instead of selling 6 pieces, you sold 60 because you had some cheap impulse buy type of items that people could pick up, that's still 60 customers that you acquired. It's a big deal. It's extremely helpful. Now you're marketing to those folks, right? Like now when they are ready to buy a wall art, who are they going to call? They're going to call you, and that's how it works. So I get very, very excited about that. Just tactically and yeah, that's what I'd say. All right, what else, guys? Questions? Did I miss one in the chat? Doug. Yeah, Joseph, I would say literally listen to my podcast from the beginning to the end. It is very, very good. It's totally free. It will give you a ton of ideas and a ton of ideas that you can literally use in Uganda, right? So, all the fundamentals of like how it goes is really, where you are in the world independent, right? And especially in your case, Joseph, because you'll need to start growing the business locally there, right, to be able to expand. That's how it goes. Yeah, so KM's asking about plans. We have a couple of different plans, and there's a bunch of different ways that they bundle it. There are plans that have no fees, or some plans that do have fees. Some people buy like 3-year plans, 4-year. But the way that it works is like we charge a normal monthly fee for the website like everyone else does, and then we charge a one-time fee that goes for the army of people that are going to support you on workshops and teach you how to market for the rest of your life. And we're definitely, we're not the inexpensive option in town. We're definitely on the upper range, but we believe that the only thing that matters is, can you create successful customers? If you can't create successful customers, you don't have a business, period. And most artists and photographers will tell you that they've wasted so much time, energy, effort, and money on all the various different ways that they've gone about it, and the business hasn't fundamentally grown, right? So there's a glitch there. Yeah, Dennis is asking, how would you price if you're just starting out, under $100 or over $100? So just like the massive diatribe on I'm getting to it. Hold on, so I can show it. On the shows and theirs, I also have one on pricing that walks you through it. Now, I don't want anyone to take any of the advice I give on here as some sort of like subtle sales pitch that you need to sign up with us. Like, yes, I want you to sign up with us, but also, do you know what I want you to do? I want you to get your pricing in line. Okay, so we make this very, very easy to do, and on others, it's a little bit more difficult. But traditionally, the way that you get the 0 to 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000 plus is a potential makeup for artists and photographers. You obviously have your non-wall art stuff, okay? And again, I'm going to put this thing in the chat so you guys can read it later, because it's hardcore tactical walks through the entire thing. It's really good. But the way that you do it is, you have the non-wall art and small paper prints that are under the $100. Then you get into your various different media type prints, okay? You've got your canvas, and you've got your metal, and you've got your acrylic, and those price you all the way up in the various different sizes, price you all the way up to like 600, 700, 800. At 800, you can start your limited editions, and then your originals you can put up over that. Now, everyone has to adjust a little bit for taste, right? But it is such a spaceship moment, okay, when you get it right. And like, here's Kelly. This woman's mega talented. Like, you can see her entire range right there, right? She's got small prints, got bigger prints. One of them's probably an original. She's got greeting cards. She's got tote bags, and she's got whatever these are, smaller prints, right? So she's got the entire range in one photo. In that photo right there is 0 to 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000 plus. Boom. Anybody can come in. It's like, I really like this woman. I really like what she does, but my significant other is here. I haven't measured my wall space. I just don't know if I can commit to buying that wall art. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a tote bag. Next thing you know, this person in question is going to the farmer's market every single solitary weekend and stuffing one of these tote bags full of vegetables and then hanging it on their wall. Every day they're looking at Kelly's art and they're going, oh my gosh, this art is good. Oh my gosh, this art is good. Then they're showing it to their significant other. Then they're measuring that wall space. Then they're coming back and grabbing one of these originals off the wall, because that's how it works in the real world. So this article will walk you through how to do it, like in depth, how to contemplate the various different items. I also go into our recommended markups and how we approach those and how we think about those. And so there's a ton of tactical in there. You'll never stop learning the tactical with us. It just goes on and on and on. As you can see, Karen over there taking notes and going, oh my gosh, I have to learn all this stuff. Yep. That's right. That's how it goes. So that's how we do it. But what else, guys? Questions? I used to have this really cool way to bring the comments in, and for some reason it's just not working anymore. It really upsets me. See if I can get it back. No, Douglas, I wouldn't do that. Suggestions on selling digital prints? Zero difference doing that. What's it at all, Dan? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's digital or not. Like you're not selling JPEGs. You're not going to be selling any NFTs. Don't even get me started with that. But you have to get the work printed out. Once you do, done. Easy. Phenomenal. We have a ton of digital artists. In many ways, you're in a much easier spot than a number of others, because for you, it's not like you have to go and get the work scanned. You know what I mean? Like, it's already good to go. All you have to do is just order some prints, hold them up, show them off, and you're in business. So, that's a very, very helpful thing to be in. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do comments. We print only, or you have print vendors send up? No. We've got them set up. You're done. You don't touch those at all. Robert's asking about print vendors. So we're partnered. There's 2 in the States that we're partnered with, because it's really hard. Everyone's like, well, why don't you partner with hundreds? Because it's really, really hard to get all of the technology like working and dialed in, so it's just seamless. And so Bay Photo, West Coast, similar size operation called Graphic Dimensions on the East Coast. Doesn't matter which one you pick; it's personal preference. They're more or less the same. They have a little bit different things here or there, and yeah, you get that going on, and you're done. It's all like literally one click. Like it's the the POD, you guys. I mean, I could talk about this. I mean, for days, right? POD is the single solitary greatest thing that has ever happened to this business. The fact that you do not have to have inventory anymore. You do not have any minimums anymore, right? You do not even warehouse any of that stuff anywhere. You don't have to run down to the print shop. The printers will absolutely nail your colors. Print on the best media types imaginable is a phenomenal, phenomenal thing in helping you grow a business. I mean, a phenomenal, phenomenal thing, massively so. And all you have to do is just, one click and you're done. And the next thing you know, you can worry about the much bigger problems, which is selling the work, not driving to the printer and sending emails and going here and going there and and all that, right? So that's what I would say. I'm going to have to figure out how to get my comments back after this is over. Mental note. Columbus, I can't do that. No one can do that. Columbus is asking an interesting question. Like, I want to get my work to you to see if you can find any value in terms of price my work. The only person that can tell you whether or not your work will sell, Columbus, are people actually taking the almighty dollar out of their pocket and paying for your work. No one else. I get all the time, I've been in a juried art show, or my art won best in show at the such and such fair, or I get a ton of likes and comments and shares, or I was in a juried art show. And then, you know what I do? I say, hear that knock at the door? That's me. I'm out front. Get in. And then I drive you to the local ATM machine, and I say, show me the button on that machine for likes or comments or shares. Show me the button on that ATM machine that says I was in a juried show or I won an award. There is a reason that none of those buttons exist on an ATM machine. No one can tell you whether or not your art will sell, right? Only getting it in front of enough strangers' eyeballs to know. And even mom, dad, brother, sister, family, friends, they're not fair either. They would do anything for you, and God love them. We need them. But you have to be able to sell to strangers, and that's the only way you know your art will sell. And that's one of the biggest struggles. That's why doing an in-person show or fair is awesome, right? And that's what I recommend you do, Columbus. Figure out whatever the in-person show or fair is in your area, assuming there's one close enough that you can pull that off, and do it. It can be anything, like, I don't know if you're in the States or not, but in the States, farmers market, a brewery, an actual art show. Some people I know set up in their driveway. You could have a garage sale. Fake a garage sale and put all the pieces in the yard and see if it will sell that way. Like, I get creative with it sometimes. You think I'm kidding? Like, you have to know whether or not the work will sell, and you have to get into negotiations, right? So that's what I would say. I love getting guerrilla with it. I have this like weekend coffee shop that I go to every weekend because my kids love the cinnamon rolls, and it's like kind of on a main strip that you go driving down. And this guy, he knows he's got the real estate. It's his residential house, but he just puts all of his easels out on the driveway, and all of the works are just up, and everyone's driving by every day. And occasionally I see people stop and talk to him. And so he's probably selling stuff, right? And it's like, you gotta put to work what you have. Most are like, I don't have shows and fairs in my town. It's like, I live right by the beach. There's people that are setting up tables without asking permission or out getting a permit all the time down here. And it's like, you got to get creative early on. Go ahead, James. I see your hand. You'll need to unmute.
So I'm a landscape painter,
Awesome.
and I just started my journey, and I'm just kind of curious: is there a certain size of portfolio
No,
that you look for?
one piece. And the reason I say that is, and again, it's impossible not to take it cynically, right? Oh no, sign up today, one piece. What everybody does is they say, I'll just get started when, right? I'll just get started when I figure out what my niche is, or I'll just get started when I get the bank account opened, or when I get my logo and branding in place, or when I have 10 pieces, right? Or this, that, or the other. And then what ends up happening is the days turn into weeks, turn into months, and zero forward progress has been made in the business whatsoever. I wouldn't wait even a minute. If you've got one piece, I would get out there and try and sell it immediately, right? Immediately. Because it's the feedback that makes the difference. Like, everyone's like, they get that, like, I need to be perfection strategy, when the only thing that matters is getting the work in front of strangers' eyeballs and seeing whether or not it'll sell. And guess what happens? Sometimes it sells, sometimes it doesn't. When it doesn't mean you're a crappy artist. It just means you created a product the market doesn't want. Congratulations. Pablo Picasso had 45,000 unsold works in his inventory when he died, right? Like, you think that guy was bothered? Sometimes he created things and nobody wanted it. He didn't care. He just went on and kept going. So that James, I feel like strongly that the feedback that you will get early on is the most important thing. Like, what if you keep working for 6 months on a direction and nobody wants that stuff? Then you've wasted 6 months, right? But what if you instantaneously grab it, take it to market, and say, hey, here's what it is. What do you guys think? And it sells right away, then you know, right? So it's about shortening that cycle and getting there. And it's one of, no joke, you guys, it's one of the biggest things that we do as a business is help our customers work through it. And some of our most successful customers have been through so many different iterations of styles and subject matter material on their journey to becoming a bigger and bigger and bigger and better and more successful artist. And oh, by the way, didn't teach us in school, but again, the Pablo Picasso stats, that you know how many artists that are like that? You know, that you have to get the work out into the world and it needs to move. That is the ball game. Anything that you're doing where that's not happening and you're telling yourself you're busy, you are deluding yourself and wasting time, right? Like, these are the things that you need to do, and the work must go out into the world. I've got a huge write-up on this on my pricing article that I think is really, really good because, again, like, if more artists understood it wasn't a death knell just if your work doesn't sell. Do I have them up top? Yeah. So here it is. Unbelievable book. Of course, they don't have it in Kindle, and of course, it costs like $60 to buy it. No, I don't have it sharing. To buy it used, but this guy in the left, Rasai, did this interview with Picasso in 1966, and he was asking him all these questions, and Picasso comes up with these amazing quotes. He's right. In the beginning, I did not sell at a high price, but I sold. My drawings, my canvases went. That's what counts. Don't price them too high. What matters is that you sell a large number of them. Your drawings must go out into the world. And, you know, we really try to teach that as a mantra because it's so, so important. Andre's asking what's the largest size we print. Whatever the biggest printers print. They print 44 inches or 48 inches or something like 52 inches wide by however long, you know, however wide you want, high you want, whatever the biggest printers print, we do. I'm not sure what the number is. I don't have a really good mind for numbers, but as big as anyone else can do, we can do, essentially. Aside from murals. Can't do murals. I suppose you could do the wall cling, actually. But anyway, neither here nor there. All right. What else? I'm running out of steam. Yeah, drawings can be sold all day long. You guys can sell anything. I mean, at the end of the day, our whole website is like geared and set up to sell wall art, right? But it's also really sophisticated, just e-commerce software too. So, you know, in addition to the non-wall art related stuff that all of our customers are selling, we've got people selling classes and books and music and tours of national parks and how to paint classes and photography packages. Like, we have everybody selling everything. That's another fun thing about the business too, right? Like, there's no one path that you need to take. Like, what you have to do is cultivate revenue sources that map to your revenue expectations, and sometimes you have to have some of those other offerings and service-based things to really get there. So that's an important part too. But yeah, Robert, you can sell whatever you like. Just an e-commerce store at the end of the day. All right. Yeah, Douglas, if you've made a ton of work, you gotta get out there and you gotta try to sell that stuff, brother. That's how it goes. In so much as you want to have a business and not a not a hobby, that's what we specialize in. Like, we want successful customers. We don't want you having a hobby. We want you doing it. Why isn't this thing working? This thing was working so perfectly before. Now it's not working. I had this really cool ability to be able to show the social media comments because I'm also streaming this, and poof, it's gone away, and I don't know where it is, and I'm bummed out about it. Why is that not working? Should be working. Anyway, I'm gonna have to fix that. And yeah, Reed's asking about the social media thing. Yeah, that's our latest offering. We call it Copilot. It's really pretty amazing. Totally fascinating, amazing thing that we can do. Super unique to like our industry, and I'm not even aware of anyone else that's even done it. Because, you know, you guys are not competing with one another, so we can custom design marketing that will work for absolutely everybody, and then you can do little tweaks of the language if you're so inclined, or you can just let us run it. It's a glorious thing. All right. I talked myself into circles. I appreciate all of you guys. I hope you all have wonderful weeks. Again, subscribe to the podcast. It's good. I'm going to put a ton of energy and effort into this thing. Whether you sign up or not, it's really good, I promise. I'm going to put a ton more, you know, like hardcore tactical marketing in that. Cam, we don't have a pricing page. We've never had a pricing page. We're working towards getting a pricing page. I would love to have a pricing page up, but you have to get on one of the demos to get all the pricing. I know it's annoying, but it's just how we've always done things. Or, you know, Cam, you can wait until you get another one of these emails. This same session, same time on Wednesday and Friday. They'll go through all, like, you know, it's a Zoom call just like this. It's free. You can jump on and they'll take you through the whole thing. So that's what I would say. Dan, thank you. Appreciate you saying that. James, you too. Yeah, I hope you guys found it somewhat informative. I try to make them informative and try to just shoot from the hip and, you know, not make it a sales pitch. Lord knows there's enough sales pitches out there. I think, you know, all of you guys, independent of figuring out whether or not the art can sell, right? And again, that's a journey and you're constantly going to be iterating on it. Just Pablo Picasso, 45,000 unsold. Pablo Picasso, 45,000 unsold. Okay. Your significant others are like 45,000 unsold. You see what my garage looks like already? Are you kidding me? We don't have that kind of space. But you know, it's not a death knell, but all of you guys need to fix your marketing problem. All of you need to learn how to market consistently. If you are left to your own devices, you will quit, right? You need that trainer who like sends you a text message every morning before the workout the next day saying, I'll see you at such and such time, right? Holding you accountable. Otherwise, you know, it gets hard. It's a lonely road being an artist. You know, you're a solopreneur. It's not an easy task by any stretch of the imagination. So the support and at a macro, I would say, is like a large portion of what we do here. So, all right. Appreciate you guys all. Great rest of your week. I'll send you a follow-up email and then probably too many emails after. But that's how we do things. Thank you, you guys.